Lynn fam, welcome back to another team selection video by myself. We're heading into another game week with lots to discuss. If you're enjoying the content, then please do drop a like on this video. Let's try and hit 100 likes. That would be amazing. Do drop me a comment below. What are you hoping for in double game week 36? Lastly, if you're new to the channel, then become a ride or die and subscribe. You'll really be helping me out. Okay, let's get into this. Steele actually stole points from me this week with an own goal. I really hope that doesn't affect his place in the team going forward, because DZ does not need any opportunity to drop a player from his team, it seems. Moving on to my defence, the only defender able to return any points that helped me whatsoever was Trent with a clean sheet and a bonus point. We'll take that in a week where every little counts. In midfield, Matoma managed an assist. He's been quiet of late, so it was really helpful. March didn't even make it on the pitch at the start, and when he did, he managed to get himself injured. Rashford has dropped from form recently, and that is not great. If I didn't have other fires to put out, I would consider moving him on. And Salah just continues to tick away nicely, and fortunately, no help to my rank though. Up front, we had our first blank from Captain Haaland in what feels like absolutely ages. I guess we'll have to allow it. Watkins and Isak did disappoint though. As an Arsenal fan, I feel grateful though that the Newcastle lads stayed quiet this week, even if it did hurt my rank in FPL. All of that means I got a measly sum of 33 points for the game week. Absolutely terrible, placing me on a red arrow to 51,893. It's going to be a tough ask to finish in that top 50k now with so many template teams around. McAllister seems to have been the main difference for people the last few weeks. So moving on to game week 36, and this is how I'm currently lining up. I already had a bit of a benching headache here before the March injury, so the injury does allow me to play Shaw. However, I do have 2 free transfers after rolling last week, and the plan was to do Botman to absolutely anybody and Watkins to Wilson. This would give me double Newcastle attack, and I may still do this and just bench March. However, I can do March to Joe Linton or Murphy as a punt instead. That looks like this, and it would be a little bit of a punt in midfield, of course. It is giving me another Newcastle attacker, however, potentially not as good as Wilson, but it does mean that come next game week, when I potentially don't want Newcastle players in my team, it should be very easy to bench Murphy or Joe Linton, whereas having both Isak and Wilson could be a bit of a head melt trying to decide which one of them I actually start. Outside of this, Odegaard or Mahrez also have my interest. As you can see, I'm a little bit short of the exact crossover to Mahrez from March. I would have to make another transfer. Maybe that's where the -4 would be in play, with losing Botman and getting Wilson in and Botman down to somebody really cheap. But yes, this one's a tough one. I do think the safe play here might be just to get either McAllister or Bruno. That will cover a lot of the percentage owned above me, and if they do anything, then I'll be with the pack. I can still have a bit of a punt around them if I decide to go down that route, but that'd be easier to do if I go with McAllister because of the money. So I could take the -4, which I'm probably leaning towards at the moment, which would allow me to do this. I do love the chasing upside of this, and if all of my players start, then I would have 6 doublers. However, I do have a benching headache. I would likely have to choose one of Rashford, Grealish or Salah to drop to the bench, which feels like a massive headache, but I don't hate it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. It feels like that time in the season where you kind of have to go for it a little bit. However, with another double next week, might I be better making 1 or 2 of these transfers potentially and rolling a transfer, or taking a -4 next week? Going all in here with the -4 does feel like I'm potentially locking myself into a -4 next week, unless I can find a way to Mahrez or another City attacker easily. And the only way I can think of that potentially would be to go Wilson to Alvarez, because I don't think I'm going to have enough. Though I may just have enough in the bank if I'm moving on somebody like Rashford, but do I really want to do that? This is really tough with so many doubles coming up. The only player that feels like they could be taken out in terms of non-doublers is Salah, and at the moment with his form, that's a tough sell. So plenty to think about here. I know I haven't really kind of settled on my conclusion, but I love to chat to you guys about my thoughts. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that some of those thoughts have helped you too. My captaincy is currently on Matoma, but I'm not settled on this. It could easily be one of the Newcastle players, and probably will be, I would have thought, especially if I do go for the double up. There is, of course, the opportunity to stick with Haaland. We do know that he can score as many points in a single game week, just as much as any doubler. And that's it, you guys. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed the video, then please do like, become a ride or die, and subscribe to the channel. We're all mates here. You're really helping me out. Also, feel free to check out my sponsors of this video, fantasyfootballfix.com. Until next time, Nymphria out.